Hey guys, so we have a new SAGA campaign coming up pretty soon here. It should start this week. I'm going to talk about what I think the schedule will look like a bit later in this video, but I just want to first take a look at the actual official posts here on the Twitter account. I guess we can't even call it Twitter anymore. It's now officially X, whatever you want to call it, with Twitter X, whatever. Let's take a look at what the official account has posted. We just received a brand new teaser here. And I think it is a pretty obvious tell as to what the saga is going to be based off of the images. So let's go ahead and take a look at the order here. So 3 days before the reveal, this was 2 days ago now, a new episode campaign will be revealed on Tuesday, August 8th. Leave a comment below with your predictions. So then we have Kame House here. Okay, then yesterday we got the second hint. Big reveal in 2 days. A new episode campaign will be revealed on August 8th. Events and new characters focused around the episode campaign are also planned. And it is just a picture of Earth from outer space. Now today, we got a pretty obvious hint here. Here we go. Big reveal tomorrow. The new episode campaign will finally be revealed tomorrow. What events will there be? Who are the new characters? Stay tuned. So we have a picture of Namek. So clearly, this is going to be Namek Saga / Frieza Saga stuff going on here, which is definitely interesting. I mean, obviously, this is my favorite saga in all of Dragon Ball. I have made this abundantly clear throughout the years of doing YouTube content that my favorite saga in all of Dragon Ball, the entirety of the franchise, is Namek Saga. Namek Saga was the first saga I ever watched. Frieza's my favorite villain. Favorite character in Dragon Ball period is Frieza, as you guys probably know. But yeah, looking like it's going to be Planet Namek Saga, so that's pretty cool. Now, just because it's going to be Planet Namek Saga does not necessarily mean that this is going to be focused specifically around the final battle. Let me just get that straight just right away here. It probably does mean that it's going to have some, representation in the saga, the showdown between Goku and Frieza, because that's, like two-thirds of the saga is their fight. But there's other stuff that happens in the Namek Saga here. So what I'm going to do, I think the best way to sort of go about this is to open up the Planet Namek Saga, just sort of like tag or saga here, and we can take a look at what we already have represented. They call it the Frieza Saga in Legends here. So we do have a pretty wide variety of characters from this saga, because the game at this point is now over 5 years old, so it would be a bit strange if we didn't have a good representation for like most of the characters here. So let's just quickly take a look here. I mean, so obviously the saga begins like the first fight that we really see happen is like, what is it? It's like Vegeta versus Kui, and I don't think we have a Kui in this game. I mean, would they give us a Kui maybe as like an EX character if they wanted to create a whole new model and animations for that guy? I don't know. But this Vegeta, this ultra dirty fireworks Vegeta, is literally the version of Vegeta that destroys Kui, right? We don't have a version of Kui though. If they wanted to give us our first ever ultra character Zenkai Awakening for either this Vegeta or for the Super Saiyan Goku, like this is the time to do it, right? This Goku obviously is the first time that he transforms into Super Saiyan, and then this Vegeta is when he kills Kui with 30 fireworks. Still a bit strange to me that they decided to make this one of the 3 free-to-play ultras that we have, like the 30 fireworks Vegeta. Is weird. But this Super Saiyan Goku, the first ultra character getting a Zenkai Awakening potentially, could be a very, very interesting development here if they wanted to do that for this Frieza Saga celebration. Then, of course, we have like sort of the Dodoria and Zarbon stuff that happens. Now, we do have a Dodoria card. This guy, like, so these two EXs, the EX Dodoria and EX Zarbon, like these were actually pretty good characters when they first came out, because they both give massive buffs to Frieza. I believe Dodoria gives strike damage and then Zarbon gives blast damage. This is going way back, yeah. 50% strike damage inflicted by Frieza. This was insane. You didn't see 50% to anything back in the day. This was nuts. And then Zarbon, I believe, gives the same thing, but for blast. Yeah. So, I mean, these guys were actually really damn good back in the day, but obviously they're not usable anymore. We actually do not have a single monster Zarbon card in the game, period. Monster Zarbon's model does not exist in the game, which is crazy to me. 5 years in, we don't have any representation for Monster Zarbon. I mean, if they wanted to give us like a Mega Rising banner during this celebration, I think a transforming Monster Zarbon could actually be a pretty good candidate for a banner like that. They're not going to do LF Monster Zarbon. I mean, I guess they could technically. He does like destroy Vegeta, right? The first time Vegeta fights Zarbon, Zarbon transforms to Monster Zarbon, and like that is one of the more like brutal just annihilations that we've seen. And like you go through the history of all of Dragon Ball, and like Zarbon beating down Vegeta is definitely on the more of the brutal side of beatdowns that we've seen in Dragon Ball. Like that is a pretty bad look for Vegeta in that fight there. So Zarbon actually does pretty damn well against Vegeta there in their first fight. But I think again, a transforming Zarbon maybe on like a Mega Rising banner could be interesting. I don't think many people would be like super mega excited for that, but we need to have some kind of Zarbon that transforms, or maybe it's not even a transforming version, but just a standalone Monster Zarbon, because he is a pretty significant character. I mean, it's not like a little nothing character here. Okay, and then of course after that we have the Ginyu Force. Now this is something that I've thrown out as an idea. A potential LF Captain Ginyu. Now, again, I don't think many people would be like, falling out of their chairs ready to summon for Captain Ginyu as an LF character. But, I mean, Captain Ginyu is like a very, very popular character, right? The base game of like every single Dragon Ball game that comes out, there is at least a version of Captain Ginyu in the game. Like Fighters, the base game of Fighters has Captain Ginyu as a playable character, like Xenoverse, like all those games, Raging Blast, all the Budokai games. Like Captain Ginyu is a staple character in all those games because he's a major character. And as you guys know, they've been trying to sort of like give all of these major releases, LFs and Ultras, their own identity in the form of unique mechanics for these characters. And obviously with Captain Ginyu, it's such an obvious thing they could do is give him a body change. Now, I don't know how they would actually functionally do that. Like, is it literally going to be a quote-unquote real body change mechanic where you can actually just switch Captain Ginyu with your opponent's character? Like, Captain Ginyu, like, injures himself, takes away half of his life, and then you swap bodies with the opponent permanently, and then, like, you imagine if you, like, steal their Goku and Frieza or something. You steal their Ultra Vegeta Blue, and you could have, like, 2 Vegeta Blues on your team. I don't know if they would go that far with it, but there's a lot of interesting things they could do with a potential like Captain Ginyu. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video with the Namek Saga being the theme here, it doesn't necessarily have to be, the entire celebration is just focused around, the final fight between Super Saiyan Goku and Full Power Frieza. Maybe they want to give us like an LF Captain Ginyu. Maybe they want to give us some kind of like, I don't know if they'd give us like an LF Kid Gohan here, but maybe it's going to be a Kaioken Goku instead of a Super Saiyan Goku, or maybe it's going to be, I don't know, some kind of like reviving Vegeta, right? So maybe it's a Vegeta who revives into a Goku, right? When Vegeta gets killed by Frieza, similar to the Dokkan card that we have. That could be interesting. So there's a lot of different things they could do that isn't just relegated to the final fight, although I think it's probably more likely that that's going to be the case just because it's the more iconic, thing when it comes to the Namek Saga here. And then the other Ginyu Force battle members too. I mean, we don't really have great units for them. We have the old EXs, right? I think it's definitely time to start Zenkaiing the rest of the team here, right? Goldo, Burter, Raccoon, and Geese, all these, the rest of the 4 characters. It's definitely a possibility. Similarly to how they did the EX tag Future Gohan and Future Trunks, they could do that for the Ginyu Force, right? So we get a Jason Burter, EX Jason Burter that are a tag character. Literally just copy and paste the models of the existing characters we have, call it a tag character, and give them give them some kind of like decently functioning kit. Same thing for Goldo and Raccoon. Raccoon and Goldo get a tag character. Maybe it's, I don't know, like a defensive unit, like basically the same thing to how Dokkan handled that. I think they did a good job with that. But it would be so easy to do that because all you have to do is copy and paste the models of the existing characters and just call it a new character, right? That's how they handle these EX characters. So that could be interesting. And then different versions of Frieza. So for Frieza, of course, I would have a much more higher, I guess, expectations for what I would want them to do because Frieza is my favorite character. And especially Frieza from the Namek Saga is my favorite version of Frieza. So first things first, I would definitely want them to Zenkai this final form Frieza, or this full power Frieza. I did mention the possibility of them Zenkaiing this Ultra Goku, which I think would be awesome. But I think if I had to pick one character out of the entire Namek Saga lineup here to Zenkai, it would probably be the yellow final form Frieza. This character would help LOE a lot right now. I think he already has a pretty damn good set of mechanics in his kit right now. And a Zenkai with the increased stats, with the Zenkai buff. I mean, you're not really going to be running another yellow character there, but again, his baseline set of mechanics that he has already are pretty good to the point, to the effect where they don't really have to do much for this character to become relevant again, right? This Frieza. I would actually say that if they had not given him a unique equipment as early as they had, they could give him a unique equipment right now that's like really, really strong, and he would be good enough without even needing a Zenkai. So I think this guy's in a pretty good spot here to where if they do give him a Zenkai during the celebration, like this could be pretty damn good. So that's something to keep in mind. One thing I definitely want to mention though, is we don't have transforming versions of any Namek Frieza. We have zero transforming Friezas from Namek. We don't have a first form Frieza that goes second form. We don't have a second form Frieza that goes third form. We don't have a third form Frieza that goes final form. And then we don't have a final form Frieza that goes full power. We do have a full power Frieza, or sorry, we do have a final form Frieza that goes final form Frieza with the reviving one, which I definitely love that they did this, right? This is one of my favorite releases ever. I think they released this reviving final form Frieza at a perfect time back when LOE was getting a bunch of buffs that fit well with what they wanted to accomplish. And honestly, this guy has aged extraordinarily well because he's actually used a lot right now, which is crazy considering this guy is basically a year and a half old at this point. So yeah, he's aged very well. But I would take any kind of transforming Frieza. I think if they're going to give us, I don't know what they're going to do for the schedule. But if they end up giving us an LF version of Frieza, I think, honestly, I don't know if many people would be on board with this, but a transforming first form Frieza into second form Frieza, whose LF is like when he impales Krillin, could be a pretty, I don't know how they would animate that because I don't know like what their outlook on like gore or anything like that is, and how they would like have to censor things. But I mean, they gave Future Gohan one arm, so I don't think it would be that big of a deal just to have like the impale animation not be like super brutal, but that could definitely be something that they do. Or I would take a final form Frieza LF that transforms into full power Frieza, because that's honestly, that transformation is not something that we've really seen any game really tackle at all. So it's a bit strange to me that that's not really been represented across like any game. So that's something I would take as well. So again, I mean, just to conclude this first talking point here, there's a lot of stuff they can do that's not just, the LF has to be Frieza or the LF has to be Goku, right? Goku has a lot of different versions. It could be a Vegeta who revives into Goku. It could be a Kaioken Goku. It could be a Super Saiyan Goku from like, a different point of the fight that's not this transforming Goku, right? Or, like, I mean, there's a million different things they could do for Goku. There's a million different things they could do for Frieza, transforming, non-transforming. Vegeta has moments from Namek that could warrant an LF for sure. We have Captain Ginyu, who I don't think he's probably going to be that high on the list for many people, but an LF version of Captain Ginyu. I mean, at some point during the lifespan of this game, we will have an LF Captain Ginyu, but we'll see if now is going to be the time they do this. At least Zarbon could warrant some kind of summonable character, if not like a Mega Rising version. Piccolo. We actually don't have like a good Piccolo from Namek, which is crazy, right? Piccolo fusing with Nail, like he actually has a different name. Fused with Nail Piccolo. Right, so let me just see this. Fused with Nail Piccolo. Yeah, is this the only fused with Nail Piccolo in the game? I think so. But yeah, a new upgraded version of that version of Piccolo, right? Maybe. What's the best way? I mean, there's a lot of animations they could take from his fight against second and third form Frieza that could work as well. There's just a lot they could do. I mean, Kid Gohan has a lot of good moments throughout Namek. There's just so much they can take from this saga that the options are basically limitless because they haven't touched this saga in such a long time. The last time they actually touched this saga, besides when they released like the free-to-play like Raspberry team, was when they did this banner, the Reviving Final Form Frieza and Kaioken Goku banner, which was again the beginning of 2022. So almost a year and a half ago. So there's a lot of untouched stuff here. Now, in terms of scheduling, this is the other thing I wanted to mention real quick. So again, we're definitely going to get the official reveal tomorrow. Now, they didn't mention that there was going to be any kind of like reveal and stuff or anything like that. So I don't think we're getting the major headlining release this week. I think it's going to be the following week. So this week will most likely either be a free-to-play character or a Zenkai coming out on Wednesday the 9th, depending on time zone, I guess, right? But that will be when they announce what the saga is going to be, which of course now we know it's Frieza Saga based off the teaser. And then, you know, they're either going to announce a free-to-play character or a Zenkai is what I imagine will be this week's content. And then next week on the 16th, I think is when they will release the LF character just to like start the main portion of the saga campaign. So that is what we're looking at here. And then I think on the next week after that, the 23rd, that will be either the next Zenkai or I guess a potential other free-to-play character, but I think it's going to be a Zenkai, right? That, to me, the 23rd, I think it's either going to be this week or the 23rd is when we will get like the main Zenkai, which is either going to be this Goku or Full Power Frieza. I think are the two biggest options, right? In terms of the Zenkai that people want to see the most, right? There's going to be other filler Zenkais in here too. Like, I would not be surprised if we ended up getting a Zenkai Awakening for like maybe even just this Green Kaioken Goku or Green Captain Ginyu. Like Green Captain Ginyu getting a Zenkai is definitely not out of the question at all. There's honestly not that many sparkings they could even do. Like, dude, there's this like this guy's Zenkai, this guy's Zenkai, this guy's Zenkai, this guy's free to play, this guy's free to play, LF character, relatively recent, and then Ultras, right? It's got to be like Captain Ginyu. And then like one of these two. And then maybe they Zenkai like this old red Goku Ginyu unit. Can you imagine if they gave us an LF Captain Ginyu, they Zenkai this green Captain Ginyu, and then they Zenkai this red Goku Ginyu free-to-play unit? I mean, just like the ultimate Ginyu celebration. And then they gave us like new versions of the Ginyu Force, like tag versions of these characters. And then they Zenkai Awaken the entire like EX Ginyu Force. They could really turn the Ginyu Force into a legitimate team if they did that. But so yeah, this week and the 23rd, I think, are going to be the Zenkai / free-to-play character weeks. And then the week of the 30th, which is the end of the month. So the 30th is Wednesday. The 31st is a Thursday. That is either when we're going to get an Ultra drop or it could be a Mega Rising banner. I'm not really sure what it's going to be. I think there's a solid chance it's going to be either or. A Mega Rising banner or an Ultra banner. I will tell you guys this, that last year, I don't know how much we want to go off of last year's schedule, but last year, we got the Powerful Opponent campaign sort of like at the end of this month leading into September. The Powerful Opponent campaign gave us Ultra Broly at the end of September. So there is a decent chance that they actually don't give us an Ultra this month and go along with the schedule from last year and give us an Ultra at the end of September, which would give them enough leeway to not give us an Ultra until Legends Fest, which is going to be the end of the year in December, right? So it depends on how much they've prepared ahead of time for Ultra releases, but I would say that we're going to go Zenkai, LF, Zenkai in terms of the next 3 weeks. And then the end of this month, again, it'll either be an Ultra character or it'll be a Mega Rising, I think is what they'll do. But we'll have to see, because I think what they'll probably do tomorrow is when they announce the campaign, they'll probably give us a roadmap like they did for the Boo Saga. So we'll at least be able to see how long and, you know, how, I guess, in depth this celebration will go in terms of the actual content plan that they have for this. But Looks like it's going to be Namek. Let me know down below what kind of characters you would want to see from the Namek saga. Again, there's a lot here that we have not seen represented in the game, and there's a lot that they could potentially do in terms of different iterations of characters. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you guys want to see, and I'll see you all in the next one.